What seems to be overpriced, but in reality is 100% worth it? Before we start with the first story, please hit subscribe and ring the notification bell to stay updated with us. Story 1. I'm usually a cheapskate, but experience has taught me that some things are worth spending money on. For example, car wash vacuum cleaners. So it's worth it to spend $1.50 or whatever to use one, rather than trying to use your own vacuum cleaner. And they get your car cleaner much faster than dragging out your home vacuum to try to clean your car with. Electronics. Buy them from brand name shops. It isn't worth hassling to save $10 somewhere and getting something that doesn't work or doesn't have a reasonable return policy. Household help. If you can afford it, get someone to come in and clean your house on a regular basis, so it stays always clean without you having to do anything. Education. Now, this is a big one and far more could be written about it. Obviously, not all education expenses are worthwhile, so I'm not necessarily referring to a college degree or whatnot. But educating yourself, or especially educating kids if you have them, can return dividends throughout their life. Story 2. Tailored clothing. Wearing clothing that fits correctly is more comfortable, looks better, and tends to be of a quality that lasts longer. Adding on that, you don't have to get bespoke or designer clothes, then have them tailored. You can thrift high-quality pieces and have them altered to fit you perfectly. I have 2 coats from the 80s that cost me $25 together that I had altered for $160 total, and they are beautiful, impeccably fitted, and will last me the rest of my life. I recently bought a pair of early 90s men's Calvin Klein jeans, $10, then had them tailored to fit me, $18. And not only do I get compliments on them all the time, they have functional pockets and are much higher quality than most modern women's designer jeans. The quality of most consumer goods have tanked in the last couple decades, but good pieces are still hanging out in resale shops waiting to be worn for another 30+ years, especially for a special event, wedding, award ceremony, etc. If you pay a tailor to customize every aspect of your suit, pant length, waist, crotch length, leg taper, shirt sleeves, shirt width, jacket, etc., you'll look like James Bond, or the female equivalent. You don't even have to be in particularly good shape or anything. It's just that you look sloppy when your pants are an inch too long, or there's too much room in your crotch, or there's excess shirt fabric that couldn't be tucked in. Most people couldn't tell you why, but they would subconsciously perceive you better when all of the little details are perfect. Most people don't understand how big a difference 1 inch can make in your clothing. Story 3. This may get buried, but booking flights directly with the airline and not through a third party. I am a business travel agent, and on the side I book travel for people, and I never ever use websites like Priceline or Expedia for anything but reference, because when your trip goes sideways, with missed connections or unforeseen delays or circumstances, it is 1,000 times easier and faster to get connected with an airline agent than it is to get help from the third party. And often you get much better and more accommodating service. Example, I booked travel for a family flying from Montana to California for a Disneyland trip a couple years ago and booked directly through Delta Airlines. The flights were slightly more expensive, less than $100 per person higher, and proved invaluable because on the way back, the storm that flooded Yellowstone and halted all air travel into BZN happened, and I was able to not only quickly get connected with a Delta agent, but I also got them a free hotel stay for the night plus meal vouchers and credits to go towards flying with them next time. Would not have happened if I had gone through someone else. Story 4. Buying a house. In my life, I have heard so many people argue against buying a house, my home-owning parents included. It's too expensive. It's a money pit because you have to make repairs and do your own maintenance. You have to pay property tax. Not a single one of those things compares to the money-sucking system that is renting. It is hard to save for a down payment. You have to up lots of things. Fun, good food, all insurance other than state minimum car insurance, having a car that isn't a $3,000 clunker. You have to give up a lot, but it's worth it. My wife and I did it with a single income of $14 an hour in 2020, and you can do it too. Stop generating profits for someone else when you could own an appreciating asset. Story 5. AAA roadside assistance. If you ever lock your keys in your car or need a tow, it pays for itself in 1 or 2 uses alone. I've had a few older cars that had some problems, and breaking down is never fun, so I was always glad I had it just in case. They have to get to you before helping. I don't know if this is common or I just live in the worst area for AAA, but my tire blew out on the highway and I didn't have a spare. I called AAA because I've been paying for it, and they told me it would be 6 hours before someone could make it out. I let them schedule it just in case other options didn't work out, and immediately called my car dealership's towing service, which was included in the price of the car. Story 6. So I was told that LASIK, or PRK, basically burns out your close-up vision early, so when you hit your 40s, you'll need reading glasses? Holy crap, I'm 38 and I'm looking into getting some. With that said, no regrets whatsoever. I got my eyes zapped after nearly 20 years of wearing glasses contacts, and honestly, within 2 weeks I basically would forget that I ever wore glasses. Edit, I got it. You were told that it shouldn't affect your need for readers. Reddit, and I don't need 40 people telling me that this is the case. I was told differently by my optometrist. What was explained to me is that correcting your eyes from being myopic is going to shape them in a way that might have you going presbyopic faster, since the laser is reshaping your eye to be able to see far away, which may come at the expense of being able to see up close. With your eye reshaped in this manner, and your age-related muscle decline as you hit your 40s, the likelihood and timing of needing reading glasses increases and comes earlier. I'm just relaying the logic. Story 7. Movers, 100%. Worth their weight in gold. Absolutely. I used to have the mindset of, I'll die before I pay someone to move my stuff. It used to take me forever to get settled into a new house, because I would be completely exhausted once I loaded and unloaded everything. It's so much easier to just pack everything into boxes, have movers move it for you. Then you spend your energy unpacking and getting settled in instead of unloading and unloading. Professional mover of 17 years here, and unsurprisingly, I'm inclined to agree. Good movers with proper equipment can move your whole house in a fraction of the time it'd take you while disassembling what needs to be disassembled and wrapping everything that needs protecting. You don't have to worry about renting and returning a poorly maintained U-Haul or coercing your friends to help, and your backs will thank you. Budget movers off Kijiji are a gamble though. It's always recommended to read reviews. My parents decided to move from Hawaii to the mainland entirely through the USPS. So many boxes went missing forever. They used professional movers after that, back to Hawaii and back to the mainland. Story 8. A good high-quality pair of work boots. I hate to tell people how much I pay for mine, but they're absolutely worth it. I wear West Coast Jobmaster boots, and it hurts every time I buy new ones, but I won't be stopping. So I sell a brand of very pricey work boots, along with other very high-end workwear items. I gotta say, boots are so personal. Most of the items I sell are universally loved by everyone who invests in the product, but boots vary more than anything else. Some guys will absolutely die without their $600 boots, but others swear by the comfort of their $120 basics and find the high-end boots painful. Of course, the $120 guys usually end up spending the same over time because their boots will fall apart much faster. But it doesn't matter to them because they genuinely find the cheaper boots more comfortable. Feet are weird. Story 9. House and contents insurance. Yep, total pain in the ass. But when the worst happens, and it does, you'll be so relieved you stuck with it. My wife and I had been married for all of 6 months when I got deployed to Afghanistan. We hemmed and hawed about renter's insurance before I left, and ultimately decided it was worth like $18 a month for our shitty apartment. The apartment then flooded, and we ended up having to replace almost everything, and then ended up in a few lawsuits. Insurance defended us in court every time. We'll forever recommend property insurance to everyone. Story 10. I've bought expensive nail clippers. Most pairs I'd had before either came from Christmas crackers or were from cheap grooming kits alongside a pair of tweezers and a file. I ended up spending £40 on a pair from Japan on the recommendation of a friend. One of my best purchases ever. They've lasted me years and are still sharp. As in, you couldn't tell if you were hitting nail or air if you had your eyes shut sharp. I swear they were made in the free time of a katana smith. They last forever, give a clean cut, and are so much nicer to use. If you're going to overspend on anything, nail clippers are a good way to go. Story 11. Childcare costs. It may seem astronomical to be paying €1,200 a month, but broken down to an hourly rate, it's actually not a lot for what you're getting. A long time ago now, but when my kids were in full-time childcare, it was $1,800 monthly for the two of them. It was a real struggle as it was bigger than our mortgage payment, but they were looked after by professionals, were fed fab meals and snacks, and did loads of activities every day. Also had an outdoor playground that could be partially covered when the weather was bad. Story 12. Good shoes, especially sneakers, they make all the difference on your feet, legs, and back. And usually that's noticeable after walking around a lot in a day. Good mattress makes all the difference in sleeping, and your back will thank you the next day. Good computer chair, again, a lot of difference for your back. Good shampoos, mostly for people with longer hair. I started buying hair salon shampoos, and I have way less hair loss, less knots, and way healthier hair head in general. Good medical care. I don't think I need to explain much about this one. Story 13. High-quality skincare. I'm 37. I worked in the beauty and skincare industry for years, so aside from being a big skincare consumer, I'm knowledgeable on the innovation and manufacturing sides of it. Surprise, surprise. It's chemistry. It's all chemistry. All skincare is nothing more than chemistry that exists to affect the chemistry and texture of your skin, and it happens to work. I am forever met with, "Wow, your skin looks great. What do you do it?" Followed by a wrinkling of the nose when I say diligent skincare since my 20s and list the things I've used to achieve nice skin. Who knew taking care of your skin works? Wear SPF daily. Yes, daily. Not just when you go out in the sun in the summer. Avoid tanning. Find an acid that works for you. Mine happens to be lactic. Get a tretinoin RX. Story 14. Vet medicine. People think it's so expensive to drop a few grand on your pet for surgery or whatever other random emergency care they need. If that pet was a human, you'd be in way deeper if you were paying out of pocket. Basically, vet medicine has whittled down the cost to what human healthcare should cost. It just feels like a lot to you because it's all out of pocket instead of covered by insurance. Last Christmas, my dog spent 2 days in the pet hospital, and all in we spent about 3 grand on him for what was essentially kidney failure. Tell me what human has a 2-night hospital stay and gets out only paying 3 grand even with insurance. The US healthcare system is a joke. Story 15. Everyone has the same response when I tell them what my computer chair is and how much I spent. Herman Miller Aeron, $440. Bought it used on eBay back in like 2018. They were running a Father's Day code site-wide, and I got an extra 20% off or whatever. It's been the best investment I've ever made, along with my dehumidifier. But people exclaim, "You spent how much on a chair?" Like, yeah, I did, and I'd do it again. It eliminated my lumbar pain. It eliminated my swamp ass. It's comfy. People won't think about dropping hundreds a month on weed, or fast food, or what the ever. But when it comes to buying a quality item you spend a lot of time in, they throw their hands up and act like it's too much. I exceed the weight capacity of my chair, and it's still like new nearly 6 years later. That's how rugged, quality, and nice this goddamn thing is. I can't say their price is worth it, but there's such a large secondhand market. Don't buy a gaming chair, or any other meme bullshit. If you can, spend the money on a used Aeron. Otherwise, get whatever you can for cheap and save for it, even if it takes you a year. Of course, this really only applies to my fellow games PC enthusiasts. Alright folks, that's a wrap. If you like more of this, please hit the thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. You can also share your thoughts in the comment below. I'll see you in the next video.